Hello and welcome to Venue Diagram. We are here in Philadelphia, right outside of the 30th Street Station, to see the Atlanta Braves versus the Philadelphia Phillies in the first stadium visit for Venue Diagram. First things first, just a little bit of background about the park and the idea of going. One, super big baseball fan, and I figure that a lot of the episodes of the show will be about visiting baseball stadiums around the country. It's always been one of my really big goals to visit all 30 stadiums that are active. I've been to a couple that are defunct now, unfortunately. A couple of them were kind of favorites of mine. But the other big thing that I'd love to do is really visit them all and compare them to each other, kind of put them on a ranking list and all of that stuff for everyone out there, particularly in how they deal with gluten-free food issues and dealing with sound, lights, noise, all of that different stuff that may cause sensory issues for people. And so, what better place to go for a Braves fan than into the mouth of the enemy here and to check out Citizens Bank Ballpark. So I took the Amtrak down and I took public transportation back. So let's switch over to past me, because that was a couple months ago that I actually take this trip, as I buy my tickets, head down, and kind of walk you through that process. Then we'll go through the game and the stadium, all that fun stuff. Then I'll join you back here at the end as we talk about the trip back, and then kind of wrap up things with a few final thoughts. So I love baseball, and this is the first weekend of the season, and I am coming right here into enemy territory at Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philadelphia to catch this third game of the Braves versus Phillies series. Braves take the first two. We'll see how this goes this time. Here we are right outside of the ballpark. There's the iconic Liberty Bell logo, and there she is. Citizens Bank Ballpark, just ready and waiting for us. Here we're inside, and there's a statue of Richie Ashburn, classic Phillies Hall of Famer and broadcaster, great player. I'm going to take everyone for a little spin around the concourse. Hopefully that'll be fun for you. Here we've got just one of the men's restrooms. One of the great ideas of this channel is to do restroom visits. We can't record in there. Over this way we've got some exciting stuff for kids. We've got this the yard area, including a big, nice climbing wall over here on the right where they can climb up the Philly Fanatic. The bullpen in there, we can do pitches, and then over here at the yard, kids can run around the bases, do a little batting practice, and see themselves up on the big board. Fun times over here for the little kids. Now let's head on down to our seat. We're down this way, down the first base line in section 100. And heading down, row 28, seat 1 is the seat we're in for this game. Row 28, seat 1 is right down this way. So if we look over to the left here, should be right on the edge of this row right here. Yeah, that's a great looking little seat. Nice space, nice view down the first base line. And as we look out, we can see coming up the right field line, there's just a little bit of area down here on the right field side that you can't see, right by the pole there, the foul area. And then getting a nice good view all the way across right here, you can see that there's the short wall in center field. Yes, I am recording this late in the year. That short wall will have some great catches happening later this season for the Braves, but in a losing effort. And over there we have the left field wall, and then coming back down the first base side, a great view back to home plate. So this seat is basically perfect. So as we travel through the stadium now, we are looking for the gluten-free stand, which is by station 122. Notoriously, as I've traveled around to all of these baseball parks, the only one with a really good gluten-free section has been Citi Field in New York. But I am holding out hope that the Phillies will do better than the Yankees in this area. And here we have it. Basically, right behind home plate is the gluten-free food stand. I'm going to check out what they have. Looks as though they've got hot dogs, some chips, some beers and cokes,
And if you do eat meat, there is a Philly cheesesteak. However, I can't get that because I also don't eat beef or pork. We'll check this out, and then we'll get back to our seat and let you know how it goes.
And the entire gluten-free, non-beef haul includes Hers Original Chips, 1 Coke Zero, and hopefully the coup de grace, 1 packaged gluten-free brownie. It is, yeah, definitely not City Fuel worthy.
And now let's just get ready for the game here. We have the first pitch coming up first. Got the Philly Fanatic out there and a lady on the mound ready to throw out that first pitch. Let's see how it goes. She's waving to the crowd, and there it goes. It got to him. That's good. And there go the Phillies onto the field. They're going out there. They're going to talk to some kids who are waiting on the field for them. It's always a fun thing that baseball teams do when they let the kids go out on the field and they talk to the players. I always really feel like I'd appreciate that as a kid. And here we have my scorecard for the game. Braves on one side, Phillies on the other. And here comes Acuna to lead it off.
Let me stand up.
Everybody knows how sad I am since I am recording this audio commentary in the future. But here's the first pitch that I see in person of this baseball season. And he takes it for a strike. Then that happens later on in the game. And we will just leave it there as far as how this season has gone for the Braves. This seems like as great of a time as any to remind everyone, please boop that like button, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you like and don't like about the video.
So I hope you enjoyed that visit to Citizens Bank Ballpark. I will say, not the best for gluten-free food, but despite the reputation of the fans there, it is a really, really great ballpark. And I have to say, yeah, I was not hiding anything. Um, Everybody was super nice to me. So maybe it was because it was early in the season. If I had gone to the series that happened at the end of the season, then perhaps things would have been a little bit different. But as it was a great experience. It was really fun. Everybody was super nice. Everybody was super into it. I love it when all the fans around me are into the game. So everybody was into the game. I always keep score during the game, which I think you saw during the video. But what they are not great at Citizens Bank Ballpark is gluten-free food. And I will say I've now visited quite a few ballparks this season already, and I'll be sharing those with you before, but I think that Citizens Bank it's going to be a little bit low on the list once I do a tier listing at the end, and that's the plan. I'm going to visit every park that I get a chance to visit over the course of the season, and then I'll tier list them out, and then hopefully as I add more and more parks and more places on, can add them into the tier list and let you know where everybody fits as far as the gluten-free food side of things at least. Um, as far as other sensory issues, the biggest thing that I will say, and you probably saw it in the video, is visiting parks for someone who has the kind of sensory issues that I have. It's really, really great to have the loops. The loops have been absolutely killer. So I just have the basic ones here. There's a bunch of different options. They're not a sponsor. I don't have any sponsors yet. Hey, if you want to sponsor me, then I'm totally for it. But I just have the very basic ones here. They just go in, and I keep them very loose in my ears because I've noticed that if I put them in very solidly, then it creates this kind of suction sound, and that's worse than not having them in at all. But with these things in my ears, it just reduces my anxiety so much. It If you have issues with anxiety in crowds, and I have realized over the course of the last couple of years that it really is, at least in large part, because of just hearing all of this external sound happening and all of these different things going on all around me. These things are just a game saver. So clearly, you can just wear your basic your basic earbuds or noise cancelers if you have them, but these are made to cancel the noise while still letting in sound that you want to hear. So it's great at the game because you can hear, the PA announcer, you can hear the sounds of the game, but the crowd around you is just kind of put to a more deadened sense. And Citizens Bank Ballpark wasn't as bad about this. There are some others that are really bad about this, and we'll get to them. Um, the music system at these ballparks is ridiculous. And they, I think, try to create sound in order to make it seem like it's really noisy for the opposing team. Unfortunately for the Braves, the Phillies fans don't need that help. They're great about actually supporting their team. But um, overall, the actual stadium itself is beautiful. It's one of those like smaller, more intimate experiences. It has all of the bells and whistles that you would want. Unique batter's eye, um, different shaped walls, great views from all the different seats. Um, so I can't say that there's anything that I dislike about the stadium except that there was really nothing that was good to eat as someone who is trying to eat gluten free. There were a couple options listed in the program. I went to try to find them. They weren't there. I've noticed that that is a big problem at a bunch of different stadiums. Either the online lists are out of date or the places have just probably due to COVID gone out of business or changed ownership or whatever, and they're no longer doing like gluten-free stuff. So be careful about that when you go. But overall, Citizens Bank Ballpark was a great experience, and I gotta say, if you're ever in Philadelphia, um, check it out. It's a really fun place to catch a game. Phillies are really good right now, unfortunately. So you might see some fun baseball too. Until next time, this has been Clay Dockery for Venue Diagram, and I hope that you join me on my next adventure.